What's up, everybody? It's Jeff with Maximum Threshold in the Pit Radio, the big media conglomerate that we have become. And once again, round two with the gentleman in Brimstone Coven. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Not a thing. Now, you know, this is a long time in the making, man. I know we were fucking really serious last time, so let's just keep the air. Let's keep it light, man. We don't got to be all business. We can have a couple jokes and smiles and shit, man.
Our no fun policy. Yeah, we have a no fun policy.
I usually stick to that too, but it goes out the window sometimes. Since it's been a couple years since we talked, man, and we've had an opportunity to catch you guys a few times now, and the machine just keeps getting tighter and smoother, man, and a lot of new stuff has been incorporated into the live set. Do you have a update for all the people, man, of what's doing with the new record? And
oh, you pointing at me?
Oh, man.
New record's done. It's in the label's hands. It's coming out around New Year's 2016. 10 new songs. What is it, about 45, 50 minutes?
yeah.
Something like that. And I think it's our best one yet, for sure. I think it's got a really good mix of like our normal slow mid-tempo stuff, and there's a couple up-tempo songs.
Yeah, it's a little more boogie on it.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know, I think it's a really well-balanced record. Every song's got its own identity to it. There's no filler, there's no repeats. I don't know, man. I'm more excited about this than I have been any other record, for sure.
Any information you want to divulge the title of the album, or are you just going to sit on the edge of our seats, man, and wait for it?
No. Yeah, it's going to be called Black Magic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Based off of one of the tracks, I guess. Is like
Yeah.
name one of the tracks on the album.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, up until this point, we were doing like chronological numbers. Just like 1, 2, 3. Well, when Metal Blade picked us up, they took the first two recordings and put them together, and we just called it Brimstone Coven, so that kind of threw a wrench in the whole chronological.
They fucked your more
Yeah,
major
they-
one.
Yeah, being the first release on the label, yeah, we couldn't necessarily just call this one 3.
Right, exactly. It wouldn't have made sense, so we kind of had to come up with a title for it, and I think Corey suggested Black Magic, and it makes total sense.
One of the cooler songs on the album is that they're all cool. It's got a good groove to it.
Yeah.
It's sinister and groovy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evil riffing going on in the record.
man.
Totally.
That's cool, man. Now, we talked before last time too, and we talked about the pressure going into Metal Blade, and the debut was already done and it was a combined thing, so they just like reissued it, and it was a nice way to reintroduce Brimstone and maybe get some new fans into the mix and everything.
Sure, yeah.
The sound, man, with you guys has always been, it's heavy, man, but it's not like a force, it's not a processed heavy, it's very clean, man, and it's organic. And that's what separates a lot of, you from a lot of the occult or fucking the whole retro shit that's going on now, like you just fuzz out and we'll bury the vocals behind the fucking fuzz and all that stuff. Is that something that you guys are conscious of, man, so you don't get thrown into it?
Yeah.
Is it harder to do it clean than it is to just be distorted and buzzed out? And
Yeah, it's like playing, acoustically,
Can't hide it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We're
it's
naked.
under a microscope.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I always theorize, and maybe people wouldn't agree, that I think that like what we do has a lot in common with like what maybe older black metal was, in the sense that like it's more atmospheric. It's lo-fi, not in a bad sound quality sense, but like just like you said, it's not super processed. And I think like a lot of older like early black metal was more based on like atmosphere, and it wasn't about how flashy any of it was, but the songs were dark and they created a certain atmosphere, and that's something. That's something we do. And there's darker themes, so I think in a certain way there's a lot in common. Maybe not in an obvious way, but if you think about it, I think there's a lot in common with like maybe what some of that old black metal did. But we create an atmosphere, and it's not super polished or overproduced, but it's kind of raw in its own way, and there's a lot of room for everything to breathe. And I don't know.
We write songs for the master.
That's right.
that's is there any the black metal in the 90s, Century Media put out a sampler disc, all like the black metal shit they had going on. I think it was called Firestarter, and they gave you a long strike match in the jewel case. Do you remember this? So you could burn churches down.
I remember
there.
that concept.
Is there any thought to like putting some matches or lighter fluid or anything to get some instant
no. I mean,
because you'd be like that's even more notorious than you'd already be. You'd be like the infamous Brimstone Coven. You'd have to change your name, man.
Right.
We put in razor blades for the bloodletting.
I remember those days when like that was a pretty common practice for like deluxe digipacks and stuff. There were like bands that were putting out packages that came out with like like a clump of grave dirt and like a bloody spike would come with the package.
A lot of the church burning stuff, it became like almost like cliche or a joke of itself. Like it became such a. They did it for whatever sincere reasons. They were pretty serious about it when shit was going down. But I don't know. People. The Lords of Chaos in the book, and it seems like a new generation of kids like discover that stuff like every couple of years, and I don't know.
Well, whether it was real or not, it drew controversy, and I guess that was.
I think those guys. I think it was very real to the people that were doing it, like when they were doing it. But some suburban kid reads the book and picks up on it. I don't feel like they probably have the same passion for that destruction or that. It sounds cool to them, but
right. All that religious shit's still like new to them over there too. I mean, it was forced upon them, but it's not like here where like you have the right, you do whatever you want to do. So it's like that shit's forced on them, so they hate that fucking shit.
Right, it's more like rebellion.
Right. It's rock and it's like satanic rock and roll.
It's not a
that's what rock and roll is.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely dangerous, man.
Yep.
Totally, dude. It's not obvious, like in glaring comparison with like what some of the early black metal was doing, but I think it's like I said, in the atmospheric sense and the kind of more simple lo-fi presentation.
Well, that's always how it is, man. It doesn't have to be like heavy to be heavy.
Heavy in a different way.
It's heavy themed. It's
Right.
heavy. The atmosphere is dark and even on some of the like boogier songs, we have some like straight up like rock and roll boogie. They still kind of have an air of darkness, a little creepiness to them,
And where do you guys get motivation to write? Like, are you like a lot of the bands down there watching horror movies, or they're like rehashing the same shit, like they read the Satanic Bible,
It's just something that's innate, man. People that want to create, dude, just like the inspiration is just there, like that bug to write music and create music. You don't have to force it. I mean, I know Corey doesn't, or Andrew, or John, and I think most people that. Are artists in that sense. It's there. Like that desire to create music is there.
Well, and as far as darkness goes, I mean, the world is a dark place, so there's an endless wellspring to draw from when it comes to that. I mean, Corey's really the guy to consult when it comes to lyrical themes and things like that. 'Cause he's that's his baby. But like, there's so much evil in the world. There's so much darkness in the world. You can never run out of things to write about.
I mean, if you're going to hang out, given the opportunity, you got Jesus on the right hand and you got Satan on the other. Who are you going to hang out with? I mean, who's going to be more fun?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So.
And, we're all kind of intrigued with dark themes and horror. It's just like it's just the kind of things that are intrigue us and people like us and like-minded people. Horror movies, darkness. Look, it's all
mystery,
scary.
Man.
That's what makes it dangerous.
Right? Rock and roll.
Yeah.
It has that aura there too, like you're not supposed to have it. So that kind of adds like, hey, I want that. It's like the advisory labels, like in the '80s, like it backfired totally, man. You're like, dude, I want that. I don't know. I know they're going to say bad words on it, but I want it.
We talked about that last time too. That how you consider, and I do too. And I think like it's all rock and roll in a certain sense. Like Deicide to me is rock and roll, or Cannibal Corpse. I call it all rock and roll. It all comes from the same like. The place of like rebellion or danger or it's just
for sure.
It's that rock and roll vibe.
I vividly remember being in I think it was 7th, 8th grade when I heard Slayer for the first time. Buddy turned me on to Slayer, and I went to Catholic school at the time, and I remember listening to South of Heaven like before I went to school and being like, man, this is so wrong. Like I totally shouldn't be listening to this. But that's what it made you want to listen to it.
Well, that's the youth group. I remember a youth group when I was real young, probably 13 or 14, and they had these videos. The Christian made videos that would show you all these bands and how evil they were and the things that they did and what they sung about, and they made the mistake
It's like a promo.
They sold it to
It's like a promo.
They made the
sold it to
mistake
you.
of letting me hear these bands
Right.
and putting them right there in my face, and of course I'm gonna fucking be like, this is the shit.
They did all the legwork for you. So
Yeah,
when you got out of
exactly.
camp, you're like, dude, mom, you need to take me to the record store.
Yeah,
like
right,
we had
yeah.
like a whole discussion, and then your mom's like, that's awesome. You're like really taken out from the group and everything.
Yeah, totally not the desired effect they were shooting.
Right. Meanwhile, they're playing like, you know, G.G. Allen and shit like that, and your
Right.
mom's buying you Murder Junkie CD and all that stuff.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
this is so awesome. That was money well spent to send you to camp and all that.
You know, and me and Corey talked about this last night at the bar, and he could maybe elaborate a little on this, but you know, you talk about Satanism as a philosophy and LaVeyan Satanism, and like more people than even know it, and even a lot of Christian people
Even Christians.
live that philosophy.
Right.
They don't even fucking realize it.
They don't
Like they have
even
no
realize
idea, but that's the philosophy they're living.
Theoretically, LaVey and all that, it was like the righteous way, man. It was kind of just like, you know, like
Do what you want.
Pleasing yourself
be a good
with respect.
be a
yes.
good person and respect others until they disrespect you. I mean, like it's just like the common law of decency, you
More
know.
people, and you know, you get that Satanism, that tag on it, and it's shocking to a lot of people. But like so many people live like
that
that
way.
every day,
Right.
and wouldn't even like they'd be, you know, shocked to find out that you know, even like I said, a lot of Christian people that I know, like you know, you're living a satanic.
Lifestyle.
You really are, like as a philosophy. You know, it's not about worshiping, you know, the dude in the red suit with the pigtail.
No.
But it's a philosophy and what they represent. You know, Jesus being abstinence from these things, and
I don't think anybody.
indulgence.
I don't think any of us have a strong or even unstrong belief in any kind of divine or non-divine beings. I just, you know, we're not saying that there's not, but we're just, you know, but as far as the philosophy goes, it just makes sense. It's human nature. That's what Satanism is about, is human nature.
Yeah, and your human desires.
And indulging in it and not abstaining from deviant sex and whatever the hell else you want to do. You know, it's basically, you know, do what thou wilt. That's
But
just,
and I've always kind of felt like there might be a slight difference though between like that philosophy and like straight up hedonism. I think hedonism's more. I just feel like, at least maybe my version or my interpretation, that there is a little bit more. You have to be a little more conscious, and I think straight up hedonism is just to hell with everybody else and to hell with anything, and you just tear a path into pleasurable whatever.
It's all about ego.
But
Yeah.
I think with Satanism there's a little more awareness and consciousness to others.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like indulging, but with respect, without harm. You know, you're not have to purposely harm or do this.
anyone.
Following your own will without infringing upon anybody else's freedom.
Yeah, it's like very unevil things can be considered indulgences. Like I love spending time with my wife and kids, and that's very self-serving, and I mean, that's a satanic impulse. I guess, it's
You're evil motherfuckers,
like I indulge in that. Like, I want to hang out with my family and my kids on this, whatever Sunday, and that's very much a self-serving activity, and that's why we do. That's why you do anything. I mean, shit.
It's human.
Yeah.
Right. So when this record comes out, man, I mean, you guys are kind of doing like the hit it and get out shows now, man. Getting good response out on the road. When the record comes out next year, is there talks of a full-on assault, man, just breaking the concrete and taking it to the people?
It's our full intention.
We would love to.
Yeah, it's our full intention. And
It just has to be practical. It's basically the only thing, we definitely would be on the road as much as possible, just as long as it works.
And we would have been on the road already. We've been thrown a few bones here and there by the label and by other people, and they just weren't, like you said, they weren't practical.
Right.
I think when we got an offer like a week ahead of time to be in Europe, like nobody
Right.
can do that. We can't spend $15,000 with 1 week's notice, and
Right.
And we got another one with a band that
the tour started in California, and
Yeah.
the guarantees were like,
it ended in California.
Yeah.
So we're East Coast basically. We had to be able to find our way
Right.
all the way out there to start it, and we would end up there and had to find a way all the way back. In an ideal world where we had money to burn and stuff like that and time to burn, okay, but we all have wives and lives and bills that don't pay themselves, so we have to stay somewhat realistic, no matter how much we want to get out there. So and we got thrown another pretty cool tour opportunity, and we finally bid on it because it would have been a great thing. And we said yes, and it just ended up going to somebody else. But
The Shrine.
oh, is that who ended up going?
Todd said he saw it.
Oh, okay. But no, that's cool. I would have jumped on it too.
Yeah.
But that's far from the only opportunity we're going to get. And the labels, I think, thinking hard about when the record's going to come out, when the right time to tour is, who the right person to tour with is. So we got guys on that side, on the label side, thinking about us too.
Right.
So it's bound to happen. It's just a matter of time.
And do you say, like, Lars, James, like, we appreciate you wanting to bring us out to California and shit, man.
Yeah.
But dude, fucking seriously, like, $25? You can't give me, like, $25
Right,
to get
come
breakfast or something, you fucking
Exactly.
little Danish dick?
Yeah.
You know?
Have a heart.
We have the same problem, too. Like, they call all the time. I'm like, I can't have you fuckers on every week, dude. It loses. It's special, man. You know?
Back
So,
about it.
like, I kind of dig what you were doing in the early 80s and parts of the 90s, man. And,
Right.
but fucking come on, dude.
Have you ever heard St. Anger, man?
Lars,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh God.
Yeah!
Dude, if you watch that movie, any long-standing Metallica fan would be like, you know what, I'm fucking tapping out. I'm fucking
out.
done right now.
Which
Like,
one?
I got pissed.
Some kind of monster.
Yeah, some kind of
The one that was
monster.
like the concert and the...
No.
or is
No,
that-
they
that's
lost.
the
They could have
documentary.
fucking...
Session.
Yeah, it was like a therapy thing. They
It's
could've-
When
It's
Jason
the-
quit, it was basically
it's the-
documenting.
It's the movie where Kirk cries the whole time.
And then Lars is like, you're a dick. And James is like, no, you're a dick. You're fucking picking on him. And he slams like a door that's like,
I think
they
Kirk-
take it off one of the hinges, so when he slams it, it
I
looks
think
like
Kirk
he's...
was nominated for a Grammy for Best Dramatic Role.
Yeah.
It had that big anticlimactic scene. I think Dave Mustaine was on it, and you think there's going to be fireworks, and everybody talking. I think that everybody ends up crying.
Well, I think Dave thought that was like the springboard into something else, because then he came out and he's like, hey, it's going to be like me and Dave and James and Lars. And then
Right.
James is like, dude, fuck off. We let you in the movie, dude. We gave you like, $125. Shut the fuck up and go away, man. You're still getting fucking royalties for the Four Horsemen. Was there any fight on a new record, Justin, to get that steel drum sound on your snare, man?
Oh, man.
To really take you guys to the next level?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
we tried. No, not at all. Dude, it was pretty easy. In all seriousness, the new record, you set a couple mics up. Everything kind of sounds good organically. So there's not much manipulation that needed to happen to get the sound we wanted.
Well, and we didn't have a lot of, we kind of bottlenecked ourselves on purpose and limited ourselves. We did the drums all on tape. We did the rhythm guitars all on tape. And you don't have a lot of editing power that way.
Right.
You can't cut and paste.
Yeah, there's no click.
And nobody does tape anymore either,
Right.
man. It's hard to get, first
It
of all.
is, yeah. It's a lost art for sure. But I mean, it kind of puts the pressure on you to perform well front to back. You can't go back and be like, oh man, this fill here, I'd like to redo this fill here, this one little note in the second verse, I'd like to do that. You don't have that liberty, but
Yeah, you end up retaking the whole song. That's what happens.
right, it's true. So I mean that was I don't know. The only thing that I would say was somewhat challenging about that, there was 2 songs that we basically like wrote and recorded like at the same time. Like,
Yeah, we didn't have much rehearsal time.
we
as
weren't
a band
rehearsed
with
at
them, yeah.
all. Yeah, and that happened before. But these songs were, I think, a little bit harder to do that this time around.
Yeah,
but,
one of them's a boogie song, and it's
yeah,
it's my favorite to play, but live, I think, right
Yeah,
now. Because
okay.
it's newer, but it's such a boogie song, and I have that cool feel in the middle that.
That's something that I personally don't feel that we'll ever deviate from our methods and how we record and how it sounds. Well, I really don't see any deviation from that. I mean, I think that's something you can expect from Brimstone Coven for the days to come.
Nice.
It will always be that sound. It will always have that. We're never going to come out with a super polished record because it's just not rock and roll, man. That's not to me.
Well, and some of our favorite bands from that genre have done that, and it wasn't a service. They weren't doing themselves a service by doing that. Bands that came out in their first albums were nice and raw, crunchy sounding, and then 2-3 records in, they get all polished and produced.
Like say Witchcraft.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody overthinks
albums.
everything, man. It's got to be fucking,
Yeah, you can
Chinese
do everything
democracy in the
crystal clear,
making and
but
shit. And
Well, I
it's
kind of
sterile
wonder
at the same time.
if not, because that Witchcraft had got picked up by who was that last album? I forget who picked them up, but like I just wondered if that was like the thing with the label, like the label wanted them to clean up.
Well,
Right.
here's a budget. And,
I have nothing against the polished album. I mean, I think it just depends on the style. I think for the style and what we're playing, But for something like Hypocrisy, I think it works.
Yeah, no,
like something like
absolutely.
Brimstone Coven,
I mean, you want
Right.
something, a more technical band or something to be polished, so you can really pick up on what the guitar work and
Right.
and that stuff.
it takes away from the atmosphere. If we were to do it, it would take away from that atmosphere we're trying to create.
It's all about the source
It
material.
doesn't sound as organic for what
Right.
we're doing. There's a lot of room. Our music breathes, and it's very organic. And I think it would absolutely rob some of that.
And I'll go on record saying, me and Corey were discussing this last night. Like, Electric Wizard is the. You guys don't have to say anything bad. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, like, they forced it to sound, and it's not them, Like,
Yeah.
everything's, that ambient, fuzzed out stuff anyway, but then they start tinkering and putting, like, he's singing in a box, and they're going to put it behind this, and it's overthought, and it's like...
Blues Pills. You remember that first
Yeah.
album they had? It was like
Great.
it's one of the greatest things
Yeah.
I've ever heard in my life.
Yep.
It's not that the next recording it did was not great, but I remember thinking it was a little more polished, and I thought it took away from some of the smokiness or some of the. I think it just robbed some of the atmosphere.
Well, and I think you
sometimes.
nailed it too. Like, no matter what, whatever end result you're shooting for, if you force it,
It comes across.
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
shows.
Nobody hides it.
yep.
Well,
No matter
I
what.
think I think another band that will never. It seems to me, just by the way that they've started out and they've continued on, I don't ever see Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats deviating from their sound as either.
No.
I don't think they'll ever come out with a polished record.
No.
And I wouldn't want them to.
No, I don't think it...
I wonder what it would sound like polished up. I know, it's not going to be Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, but it's like a whole, like,
I don't think it would sound.
you get his vocals
Right.
all polished up, and then they release the album. You're so excited, and you pop it in, and it's like he kicks in, and his voice is real low.
It's weird. They have this creepy quality where sometimes even the harmonies sound like you can't even really tell if they're dead.
What's what?
Dead in.
Yeah,
And like,
kinda
yeah,
sounds like one voice almost.
Kind of floating.
Yeah, when atmosphere is like
That's
the
awesome.
cornerstone of what you're doing, like it's a thin line, and you can cross it very easily.
Yeah.
By,
And before we get into anything more, man, because it's starting to go, Big John finally opened up. He woke up. Where,
I don't talk much in interviews.
you were chatty last time. Remember, you're all pissed off about the whole bass thing still? You're body slamming people? And
we were all drunk at that show.
I told him. I've got I'm 5'2", and I had to try and put a 6'8" guy in a headlock, and I had his shoelace.
I thank you for that. You saved
I pulled
lives.
you back, dude.
Yeah.
I pulled you back. I told you.
Bring back reality.
But where can everybody go to find out all the news about Brimstone Coven? What tour dates you have lined up now, man?
I think we keep everything most current on the Facebook page more than anything, just because it seems like that's what everybody's on the most.
Just
And-
easy reach right
Yeah.
now.
Are you doing the fucking Instagram and all that shit? I know we're at
we got
Mayhem
Instagram.
Fest, and somebody asked us about Grindr. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck about Grindr.
We're not as active.
And the dude's like, oh, it's where you find a butt buddy. I'm like, oh yeah, we're on Grindr, dude. Look us up on Grindr. And I'm like,
We're
yeah,
probably
sure.
not as active with like Twitter and Instagram as the other, but we have it. Hell, I've just never. It's like the old man in me. Maybe I don't even understand Twitter. I'm a little confused
I don't-
by how
I-
No, I don't.
looking like how
I
how
don't understand it.
Well, what do we need it for?
Well, just,
You know?
some people, it's just more reach, I guess. I mean, some
Back
people
in my
are real,
day,
like-
Twitter meant something completely different.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Some people are really good at reaching fans and audiences with it. I just haven't quite figured that
Hey,
out.
I was good at reaching stuff with my Twitter. too.
Exactly, and then so I'm sure Brimstone will be on Grindr real soon with
Well,
the pit and all that shit.
Now I've got some
Brimstone and Tinder.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Exactly.
I got schooled. Who the fuck? Shattered Son. Rob was. He's like, yeah, it was Tinder and all that stuff.
Hey, we're gonna do the music Tinder, and it's gonna be bands. You swipe left if you like the band, or whatever.
Yeah.
Swipe left, right if you don't.
exactly.
Do music Tinder.
See, now I feel really fucking stupid because like the occult masters are all about Tinder and everything. I'm like, dude, nobody knows that shit. I'm telling them I'm like, nobody knows that shit, dude. And they try to put us on Front Street and fuck with us about Tinder and Grindr. I thought they were talking about the Judas Priest song because I was like, I was doing my shoulders and everything. And the dude's like, you know what it's about? He's like, yeah, you'd be my butt buddy. I'm like, whoa, dude. First of all, it's really hot outside. I'm waiting to see King Diamond. And I'm like, dude, it's patience.
I got a mean
You gotta buy me a couple.
small pass.
Right.
Get excited.
Exactly.
We ate Taco Bell on the way out here. You dude,
It
it's
stinks
not
down
gonna
there.
work.
Go there, bro.
It's savage down there. You
Right,
don't want
man.
to be there.
It's like deliverance going on down there, man. It's all. Let everybody know too, like the fans that that are being turned on as the days go by, and are into the whole cult thing, and like the '70s sound. Like you guys have a fucking death metal background, an extreme metal background, man.
Yeah.
So, and that's what makes it even crazier that, you know, like Justin's a fucking guitar player, but, you know.
Oh, I feel like I'm probably
By
much more of a
trade.
guitar player than I am a drummer, but I love what I do in this band. I love my style that I get to play, but it always still feels kind of alien to me. But, you know.
It was actually just a couple days ago, somebody had posted a thing on Facebook with the four of us 3 years ago. We were in a death metal band. Yeah, we were in Entropy.
It was Brimstone remixed. I was on guitar and singing.
Yeah.
Corey was on drums, Andrew was on bass.
Yep.
John did the guitar.
Yeah.
But
And the people that came to the show, I can remember, they came out to the show and some of them were new to the band, you know, but we played like halfway through the set, somebody would walk up and be like, you guys are going to like switch around and do some Coven songs tonight, right?
Nope.
No.
but we're all pretty versatile musicians and songwriters. I mean, Andrew is involved in a ton of different recording projects that vary stuff. Corey, my God, it's a very broad spectrum of music that we love and create, and
Very broad.
we all have a back catalog of some music that people have just never heard. Some have been like local releases, but we all have a pretty extensive back catalog that's just.
And I think we're all
pretty
going to
versatile.
probably try to, at some point, get a lot more of that older stuff out so people can hear it.
Just to hear, or is
to
Brimstone going to be the main?
But just to get a history of what we're all about, before that,
As a musician, having people hear your stuff, man, that's the name of the game. And since we're kind of like in a better position to have more eyes on us, like a lot of that stuff is really good. It needs to be heard, man.
I mean, there's even I hate country music with a passion, but Justin's done some stuff that I love. There's a song called "Love Handles." It's like one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Me and my buddy Marvin did we called it Goregrass, and it was a bluegrass little EP we recorded just drunk at my house one night. It's like 4 songs, and it's all bluegrass. I'm playing banjo and guitar, and the lyrics are all about like cutting people up, and savagery. Dude,
Again, it's all
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
The aura of it.
It's dark country too. I mean, it's not like it's not.
It's
poppy
like
and it's-
Johnny Cash and
Yeah, it's like Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, but
Cannibal.
evil.
Right.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, it's fun.
It's cool shit.
Well, as a fan of music, I enjoy that. Like if I'm into a band, and I hear members of that band have done other things, like I like checking back catalogs. That
absolutely.
interests the hell out of me.
In the local scene, man, because where we came from, there's not a huge pool of musicians. It's kind of amazing that it was almost destiny that we would end up getting in a band together, because we are all cut from the same cloth in a certain extent that we're all active writers of many different styles, and we love many different styles. So when we all got together, it was I always felt like that kind of gave us an edge too, when you get such a versatile group of people who are very seasoned at writing songs. That's an art form in itself, not just playing fast and being a master of your instrument. Hearing songs and being able to build songs and write them and have that vision, I think, is a whole separate talent. And we have a band of guys that can do that, and I always thought that gave us an edge. Even though Corey really in this band takes the bull by the horns, and he has a vision, and it's not like he ever has no amount of ideas needs to call upon us. But still, you got a group of guys that know how to do that and know that vision and what it takes to make an album and make a song or whatever.
Are you guys crying too?
It's a big look. See, they're not being as hostile towards you, Big John, this time, man.
We will when we get back in the van.
Exactly.
He's got it.
That's when I catch all the shits when we're in the van and nobody else is around to witness it.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be all like, "Thanks, Jeff. Good interview. See you later." We'll get in the van. We're like, "What the fuck were you thinking?"
Yes, and then he's always bitch. She's like, "Move the fucking seat up so I can stretch my legs." Like it's my fault. You're 6'8" and shit. Sure, I'll ride cross country with my knees on my chin, dude. It's all good, John.
Now you know why he doesn't talk a lot in interviews.
Right.
I'm not allowed.
We don't let him.
Right. I take it. You know what? I shouldn't even brought it up. I'm with you guys now. We should have just left that dog sleeping, man. But are you guys with your diverse background? Are you more into this now as opposed to doing the more extreme stuff, man? Is this kind of where you found your niche and you want to kind of go forward with it?
John and Justin got Necromancing the Stone going on too, and I think it's pretty technical stuff. I mean, it's not too technical, but it's technical enough, and it's still very listenable.
Oh yeah,
it's very catchy stuff. Really cool. Honestly, personally kind of hear like a lot of the same kind of things between Brimstone and Necromancing Stone, just maybe because of John's vocals, but like I hear a lot of similarities, and
it's very melodically driven.
It's really good stuff.
Like vocally, it's melodically driven. It's just I always have that urge, man. As a guitar player,
yeah, though. For me, I mean, that's just all I really, I'm just all about it. I mean, ever since we got, I mean, we've all been in like a million fucking projects at one time, forever. But ever since since we got picked up by the label and stuff, I personally have just like really just kind of zeroed in on this and not. I mean, I'll record some various stuff here and there, but like as far as like, going after a project or something like that, nothing's really came up that I'm just like real interested in.
Right. It's important for me to keep an outlet as a guitar player because that's so much part of my musical identity, and I do appreciate. But a lot of times, just like Corey said, I do write a lot of stuff and just record it just to do it at the house. But like, it's important to me to have an outlet as a guitar player because I mean that's really a huge part of my identity. And anything I involve myself with, I'm pretty much in love with and passionate about. Just like this band, I love what we're doing and I love to do it.
You can't bottle it and you can't stop creation.
Yeah, man, it ain't a light switch. You can't just turn it off, man. Right. I gotta do it.
So, Andrew, you still got your 138 other things that you're doing too?
No, I like
he's pretty busy, though.
No, I hear it, man.
He's fantastic. He does fantastic stuff.
Obsequiae. And then they're all what I would call recording projects. They're not active live bands like this is, so it's much less responsibility, but it's still creation nonetheless. And like Obsequiae, I do remotely because the other half of the band is in Minnesota.
Right.
So we just fly things back and forth. But
modern technology makes that.
Yeah, and it's still a relationship, one way or the other. He's flying me stuff, and I put my spin on it.
In a way, it's still a band. It just has a different dynamic. Like we're out there grinding it, man, and we're hitting the road.
Right.
Like you're collaborating with a group of guys and you're creating.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still a collaboration of ideas.
He'll downplay it, but he's involved in a lot of like really good projects.
Oh, I know.
Check out the Chalk one. Like check that out. It's really great.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I've been involved with that for.
And again, very atmospheric.
Right. And that's just you're playing the drums in that one, right?
Drums and bass and that, yeah. And it's kind of like this to where I'm putting my spin on somebody else's music. It's Aaron Carey that writes everything, and he is one of the most versatile guitar players I've ever heard in my life. He's classically trained. He comes up with his own tunings half the time, and it's a constant challenge. It's all I can do to keep up with that dude. But yeah, we've got a record fixing to drop. That's probably going to drop here early fall. But that project's been around.
That's a good time for it to drop too.
Yeah, right.
Fall
Yeah.
And everything's cool.
Exactly.
I'm sure he's got a lot of music in him too. Like you said, he's just so focused right now on Brimstone. He really is like the main creative force here. But he's got a lot of stuff that.
Dude, if we
He's
did
got a lot of stuff I know. I can't speak for him. I know he's got a lot of stuff in there that ain't even been written yet. He's got a lot of stuff that is written and recorded.
Yeah.
Other stuff.
Well, if we did, we'd have to have you on. It would be like a whole month worth of Brimstone just to get all the projects and other stuff going on, man. And it
Might
would
need
be.
a little more than a month, but
But I'm being, on the conservative side, But I mean, if that would be cool. Maybe in round 3 we can get into more of that.
that'd be great, man. There's a lot of music in all of us, dude. And, creating music is that's the name of the game. So signing the Metal Blade and being able to do this and just get it out to a wider audience, that's always a blessing. And like that that urge to create music,
and that was really
it never goes away, man. It's like a constant, almost addiction.
It's hunger.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've never been people that we all have been playing since I don't know, 12, 13, even younger than that. And I can't think of one time where any of us over the years put it down for any reason.
Right.
And we never stopped. It was always a constant thing. And, just like, I don't know, we'll say when you're young, having a girlfriend, you'd have a band for a while and then something would happen, somebody would quit or whatever, and then you realize that it was done and it'd be right on to the next fucking
right,
band. Yeah. And we didn't fucking waste any time. We wanted to create, so we just kept fucking going, man.
When I first moved to Wheeling, I didn't know anybody. I moved there for a job, And I did for about a year. I put it down. I was going to focus on my job. You know, whatever. I was in my early 20s.
But my theory out of the water.
Well, let me explain though. It totally jives with your theory. That was the one point. Like I said, I'm gonna focus on my job, and I was like, it's really miserable, man. I wasn't making any friends. It was awful. So it was about a year where I was just like in the dumps, and I kind of got fed up. And I wrote an EP, a 3-song EP with the drum machine, and I did the vocals. And I went to the Rock and Roll Bar, like yesterday's Draft House. John worked there. I started giving this CD out. I was like, I got to start a band. But as soon as I got back into it, life it was great. I made friends, started a band. So the one time I did put it down for about a year, it was fucking miserable, man. Like you can't do that. I don't know. And if you're kind of wired as like a creative guy or a musical person,
It's like holding your
I
breath.
do not recommend telling yourself, well, I just can't do it anymore. Like, it don't work like that, man. You'll be more miserable.
Yeah.
I just don't get people like, well, if I don't make it by 30, like, A, what does make it mean? B,
Yeah.
you're really going to stop? Like, you can do that because I can't do it.
It's for you. So you're doing it for yourself anyway.
Yeah, man,
You're doing
it's
it to
all-
get rich and have piles of cocaine and nasty hookers.
Well,
You're in it for the fucking
Probably
wrong
for the
reason.
wrong reason, right?
But those are always nice.
Right. No, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's drawbacks and there's benefits. I mean, the more cocaine and, as you get bigger, you get bigger piles of coke and the hookers get a little bit better looking and everything. You've gone from like the $5 blowjob to like, now it's like $600 and, the girlfriend experience is like $3,000 for the night and shit like that. I mean, and you guys understand it. You're pulling in big shit now, man.
Okay, man. Yeah, it all comes from a place like it's very much like a love, and it comes from the right place. There's no trend to like we've never said, well, this is popular, let's write this, dude. Like we just, it comes from your heart. You like to write music, and the people hear it. That's great. There's a ton of shit that we've all heard that nobody's heard. It's just there. Like we just did it to do it, and I know there's plenty of people out there that will understand exactly what we're saying. There's plenty of people wired exactly the same way, and there's some people that aren't. I know a lot of people that just play in bands just to be in bands, but there's creative people that like. I respect that because I think it's where we're all coming from.
We do the same thing, man. Like, there's tons of shit that's never been on air, that never hears, but we're saving it so that way when I'm like on the level of Howard Stern,
Right.
and I'm on vacation for 3.5
Got that box
weeks out of
set.
the month,
Yeah.
exactly, dude. It's like the fucking best of,
Yeah,
man.
you
You're like,
pull out
really,
the
this
archive.
fucking asshole's on vacation again? Seriously, we're paying
Yeah.
fucking all this money, and this douche fucking does half a show. He does 2 hours a month, It's like the fucking secret in the pit fucking files, man,
Right. The archives, dude.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to build up. I'm trying to get my legend going before I'm a legend, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that way,
foundation.
it's already-
You do it the same reason we do, though. You just love music, and you like, it's very sincere. So any success you get that's born of your, just from your passion and love of doing it. Like you're not getting rich off of it either. Neither
No.
are we.
not at all, man. And
Friends,
this is
benefits, have never got to that point. That's great, and there is money to be made out there. But shit, like.
it's relationships and finding like-minded people that share the same passion that you have.
And it's
man.
very much a
And that's-
passion, man. Like,
Awesome people like yourself.
And
Yeah,
you
man.
guys too. And the best, the best one, like Matt Goldsboro from the Skull and Pentagram and that, like, he said something about, he's like, he's in Carousel now. So he's like, hey man, do you think you could set something up with getting us to Cleveland? And I was, at least gas money and a pad to crash and food and just like some of the basic shit that people take for granted. And I'm like, dude, what do you need? What do you need me to get you bare minimum? So I know to shoot a little higher than that to get.
Right.
He's like, well, dude, I'm not asking for like the biggest pile of cocaine and like $1,000. And when he said that, I put it in perspective. I'm like, I get it, dude. Not like Matt, you're not a cokehead, dude. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But it's like relative to the size of your cocaine. It's like, dude, if I have a little cocaine, I get to rock out, man. It's all good, man. So it's like,
Hell yeah.
you're getting a little bit of blow, and
you still get to do what you would be doing.
you're going to do it anyway,
Yeah,
man. Whether
that's-
15 people came or
Yep.
300 people came, man. You're still doing the same thing.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. You nailed that too. Is you're good at what you do. People listen to you. Obviously, you've been doing this a long time. But and I know that if nobody did listen to you, you'd be doing this anyway.
I'd still be doing it,
Right.
man. And then I'd
Still
be
be sitting
standing up at the
this-
gas station with the recorder going, hey, man, you ever hear of Brimstone Coven? You got to check these guys. Listen to this fucking shit. It's killer,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Well, and, it's even if you play a show for 300, you play a show for 3. If one person comes up and says, "Man, that was fucking insane. I love you guys, and I'll fucking be your fucking fan for the rest of it." that's it. That's enough.
Yeah.
It's all worth it, and especially with this type of music and that, man, that one person that told you that, he's a lifer now from right.
And that's how it spreads. It might even be a slow spread, but he'll tell somebody, it's
exact, dude. If I had tape or video evidence that every time I had somebody tell me shut the fuck up about Brimstone Coven for like 2 years, man,
we appreciate
I've been
it,
fucking up here,
sincerely, man.
So,
we appreciate that.
It does mean a lot.
That's real talk. Hashtag real talk.
But I do that too.
You got fucking hashtags out there. This is like we're turning into fucking real socially acceptable interviewing and shit. Man.
Like fucking tech heads over here. Like we're on it.
Right. But if it's a band that I do that too. If it's a band I love, I'll try and shove it down somebody's throat.
It's and like the fucking 13-year-old kid in me comes out. They're like, Metallica sucks. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill. I'm gonna wipe out your whole fucking bloodline, man. Fuck you're fucking toast. After I watch this show and I'm done drinking my beer, I'm gonna fucking erase your whole existence, your family, everything. Nobody's gonna have any fucking evidence.
Well, that's one of my favorite things. Like, I'll be, working or something like that, and I'll be listening to my music, which is a very, lately it's just a very straight fucking line of basically what kind of shit I listen to. Like fucking occult rock and 70s rock and roll and shit like that. It's basically all I listen to. And one of the things that, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's fucking glorious. You'll be listening to something, and somebody will walk up and be like, what are you listening to?
Yeah.
And you're like, bing!
Yeah.
Like, fucking hey, I got one, I got you on the line.
Right.
Dude, music's like magic, and I always felt like it's like a primitive form of magic. Like, you're manipulating airwaves.
Yeah.
And those airwaves that's what sound is, and they reach people's ears. It's like fucking magic because it makes people feel shit, man.
Right.
You goddamn time travel. Like, you can remember a summer of '94, and it was a magical summer by a song, and you fucking, it's insane the things that music can do to a person.
Right.
I never got people that are just real casual about music, and they're just like, I don't know, I just listen to whatever, and it's like, this shit rules my life. There's not a situation.
I don't want to talk to anybody like that because they're like, oh, dude, I was into like fucking Slayer one summer when I was growing. How the fuck are you into Slayer for one summer? I was into, but now I got I like the, we like to go to the fucking the winery, and we like to take the kids to the pottery barn and all that. Fuck you, man.
I would do all that stuff too, but
but you're like, I didn't give up Slayer to do it. I can drink fucking wine.
Listening to Slayer on the way there.
Yeah,
right.
There's a song. I mean, there's not a situation in life and a joke, or there's not a fucking situation that I can't generally equate to a song somewhere.
Yep.
But listen, Slayer in a pottery barn probably isn't the best idea. I'm just saying.
What is it? Bull in a china shop?
Yeah,
she's gonna get broken for sure.
Right, that's like you have I'm almost 40 years old, and I know.
Oh, shut up! No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Well, you gotta be like 27.
I am 27, dude. I'll be 27 next week. Thank you, dude. But I know, like, if I'm having one of those days, man, and like, you gotta take the iPod to work and all that shit, man. So I'm like, dude, I cannot listen to any fucking Slayer today. Like, you go by it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. And you're like, you know what, man? I'm probably gonna fucking chill out on the Slayer today because I'm gonna fucking
hurt somebody.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, and like, I'm gonna be fucking sitting, and I'm gonna be like that dude that shut up the theater and the Batman with the orange shit. They're gonna look, they're like, dude, he looked like fucking all geeky and shit. Now look at him, his eyes are fucking bugging out and going all over the place.
There's some days I don't feel like raging out. I mean, I like a lot of weird.
Why is it? Well, see, it can't be just Slayer. Like in my job, I want to flip shit, and that's because of the shit music that's playing.
Right, well, dude, that's why I always keep the earbuds in, dude. You
can only hear Taylor Swift so many fucking times throughout the day and not want to punch somebody.
Right.
It might not be their fault. They might like Taylor Swift. That's why it's on the radio at work. I still want to knock them the fuck out.
Right. I hate anything commercial. The commercial radio is fucking garbage. And you pay for that Sirius. That's fucking garbage too, because they especially the metal channel. Max Cavalera is cool and everything. I'm not hating. I guess I kind of am hating on him. Sirius has fucking overexposed Max Cavalera and Soulfly to the point where I fucking hate Max Cavalera. Not to hate him as a person, but I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear about Max Cavalera.
Right.
There's so much other shit playing.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking,
just
I'm not going to defend like pop music and radio music. I mean, generally it's kind of soulless and manufactured, and generally the people that listen to that are not like sincere and they're passionate about music. That's at least in my experience. But if there does happen to be somebody that is passionate, like they really just fucking love Taylor Swift, then more fucking power to them. And the older I've gotten, I've decided that like it's way more metal or cool to man up about the shit you like than say pretend like you don't like something.
Right.
Like to me, that's the ultimate lameness. You just want to pretend like you don't like something because it's not cool. You know, it's way more fucking metal and cool to fucking man up and be like, yeah, I like it, because who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? I mean,
Listen,
if it's a sincere fucking
John really doesn't like Taylor Swift.
well,
No,
Being
that's
serious.
not.
I could tell there was sincerity in
He's
his
not
voice.
gonna man
I'm trying to give him some metal points. I'm trying to like you just announce it to the world.
This was a conversation that we had on the way up here.
About Taylor Swift.
No, not about
Exactly.
That's like being a vocalist. There are so many influences that I have that some people would never fucking believe if you take a look at me or you listen to some of the shit that I've done. Frank Sinatra, you got Dean Martin, Perry Como. You know, I'm not religious by any means, but I love some good fucking Christmas songs when you get Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole and all them. And then just recently on the way up here, I'm like, you know what, guys, I want you to check this out. I plugged in my phone and played Michael Bublé for him. You know, yeah, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, this fucking garbage is shit. There's so much fucking talent in that man's voice.
Yeah. At least that's a real organic.
You like it, and you don't have to answer to anybody about the shit you like.
Fucking come up to me and say something.
I've always
about
thought you
my
had a
music
very
selection.
Right, you can palm him. He'll palm your fucking head and throw you through
I've
the
always
window.
thought
Go
you
ahead,
had a
rip
very
on him about his shit.
Crooner, like
He says
quality
6'8", but I think it's more like
6'6".
Right, I don't know. Like I said, I put him in a headlock and I had his shoelace. I double knotted his shoelace. Fucking. And after that, he fell right in the line.
Pulled my socks
One time-
halfway off and tied them together.
Many years ago, me and John got in a fight at a bar, and it was born of like drunken like idiots.
No, it was bad.
Oh, it was so
A
bad.
ball
I think
of
I threw a drink, and he got mad at me, and I like grabbed his shirt, or he grabbed my shirt. I told him, I was like, "You ain't shit." And I'm like,
I ain't shit.
No, I did. I said, "You ain't shit." And John goes, "I ain't shit." And I reached up, and I always remember this. Like I was like trying to choke John.
Right.
I had my hands on his neck, and I always felt like I had like little crab hands around his neck.
Right? Or you're pinching his face. You're like, I'm getting on the stool.
Little
Don't
crab hands. It's all drunk and just like so. We're like, I'm choking John, and we end up back in the poker room. And there's like 3 or 4 friends between us, and I'm reaching up. You know, I'm 6 foot. John's 9'8" or whatever. You know?
Right.
And I'm reaching up with my little crab hands, choking John's neck. And we're back in the poker room, and then like he just starts like punching over top of everybody. And he'd be like, he's like over top of everybody, just like down. And he hit me like 8 times. My glasses flew off, and I remember like afterwards, I'm staring at him all mean, like John staring at me like. And like it ended up in the poker room, so we got to watch the video. It was on camera, and we knew the bar owner, so he let us borrow the video, which was hilarious. And I'm sitting there staring at
You
John.
guys gotta check out how fucking retarded you were. It was awesome.
He picks up my glasses, and we're watching the video, and I like swiped him out of his hand, like I'm fucking, put my glasses back on, and we stared at each other, and then we just like bear hug.
Oh man!
Bear hug. We come back out, and everybody's just like, what the fuck, guys? The moral of the story is John can punch over top of people. He's got an advantage. You cannot break it up.
And you don't want to get it down because that's like at the highest impact.
He's got like
When
a
he's coming down. He's like
96-inch reach.
That's ridiculous.
He hit me 8 times and didn't even fucking
I should have drank more.
He hurt my glasses.
Kid.
So
I used
Really
to do
wanna
lots
watch
of
that
miracle
video.
ground stuff.
Yeah, I
That's,
want to see that
dude,
video.
that's,
I was, it was the guy from Brewski's.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if we could. It was great. It was a really great video. It was kind of funny.
I want to get my hands on that. We'll put it up on a thing. We had like fucking celebrity occult.
Hey man, you know that's how we're like metal men. We're tough. That's how we handled our dispute at the time.
We played a show that Friday.
Yeah.
And following, it was my birthday party throughout. I think it was like a Monday or Tuesday.
Hey, that was a total Jaeger bomb like thing that happened.
So bad.
Shit happened. Dude, Jaeger brings out the fucking worst.
Jaeger and Red Bull, like even we're amped, man. Like
Hey, that's the worst combination ever.
Well, not only that, because I always remember being like a fucking delinquent when I could drink. I can't drink in my old age anymore, man, in my ailments. But you get a fifth of Jaeger, and it's like, dude, it's like fucking can't. And before you know it, a whole fucking fifth is gone. You and your dude split like shot for shot a bottle, and he's getting another one. And then all of a sudden, you're fucking throwing glass at each other. There's there's blood all
it's
over.
never made anybody like smart. It's
Yeah,
never
it's never like, dude, let's sit down and figure out how we can help fucking like homeless people, you know, like
right.
do something
Talk
really
about some really deep philosophical like things. Like no,
there's always
like get naked and expose myself.
right. It's either that or there's broken shit and blood and police
for
officers.
the dumbest fucking reasons.
oh yeah, well, it's never made anybody.
You haven't trimmed your fucking nose hairs, asshole.
And I like them long.
Exactly, man.
It's a strange brew.
Things
No,
sticking out of my nose, and I'm not doing it right.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I think we're all older and mellower now.
I'm styling this shit.
I can't drink like that anymore, anyways.
No.
I don't necessarily have a desire to. It's funny how your I don't know, personality like morphs. Like I'm still the same guy, but there's a lot of like my outlook has changed. On so
You're
much
more
shit.
sensible.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely, dude. Like me especially, man. I pushed the envelope so hard in my 20s. Like, I mean, it was pretty extreme.
Yeah,
I was pretty well like trying to live the rock and roll experience, and I was.
Well, that's because you're more of a man than me.
Dude, and you have the best beard in the music business right now.
That's
Yeah,
good.
dude.
I got a fat chin. I really just carry the beard to hide my childish chin.
It's all right, dude. You wear it well. I know
Thank
you guys
you.
are anxious to get on the road, man, so I'm going to tell you, Metal Blade, there's a lot of big bands on there. King Diamond is also
Absolutely.
on Metal Blade
He's
Records.
the king.
Fuck yeah, he's the king. He blessed me at the Mayhem Fest, and I, in turn, got some of my dudes some blessings, man, and King blessed the Coven, dude.
So that is amazing.
You now have the blessings of the King, man, so it's only upward from now on.
That is great, man, and thanks
It's
for
honor,
good looking out, man.
And like he told us, by the time this airs, I'm sure we can probably say it because they're releasing it Wednesday. We won't air it till Saturday, but he said, "Hey, man, I'm going to tell you this. We're going to be going out on a headlining run in the fall. I won't say who's taking out. I told you guys who's taking out. But they're playing Abigail in its entirety.
That's right.
I saw that post.
So we're going to do it." And he told us, and I was like, "Dude, King gave us inside shit, man." And my dude's telling me, he's like, it's like your mom when you're a kid. She'll tell you anything to go to sleep. He just wanted you to get the fuck out of there. You're geeking out and everything. And I'm like, how dare you blaspheme the King, you motherfucker. So he's like, dude, I want to feel special like King was telling me shit.
That guy's nowhere to be found now,
Right.
right? Like, you eradicated this guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off here too. But fucking,
Pause it.
it turned out, and like he put it out, and I was like, see, man, my faith in King paid off because I knew the King would not steer me wrong.
Oh, he just made a post the other day. It was like, what big news coming, and it was just the Abigail album.
Right.
Yeah, that was it.
Right. Well, that was the tease. That was like the weekend after, and then I think it was 2 days ago. He said, we're going to be playing Abigail in its entirety and other shit, and we're going to announce like the lineup and everything on this coming Wednesday or whatever. So I was like, and I just fucking text. I'm like, here's a link to it. King's word is bond. Fucking suck it.
Yeah.
And then I went and fucking.
Well, we
got
appreciate
it,
you looking
what
out,
we had to
man.
do. But it can only be good, man. Fellow Metal Blade artist and
Co-workers.
Co-worker. Yeah, you guys are.
Jesus, I don't even.
I hope to see him. Maybe we'll see him at the Metal Blade Christmas Christmas ham dinner.
Yeah, but there'll be no presents. No presents for Christmas, though. He already told us.
Yeah.
You ain't getting no presents for Christmas. Guys, I appreciate it, man. I love when you guys are around and you give us any amount of time, man, and anything we can do to help you out in the future.
We appreciate you.
Anytime.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you very much. Just fucking put the.
Dude, I'll sit here and talk all day. You just got to keep a tape recorder around.
Dude,
Every time we're
I
hanging
would
out,
do it too, but
you just got to fucking turn that
Corey
thing
keeps
on.
reaching in his pocket. I don't know if you got a switchblade in there and you're like right in the line of fire, man.
I'm doing something in there.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. We're gonna go. I'm gonna dim the lights.
We're out here on the road.
I didn't
We're with our
realize you guys
families,
were
like,
paying attention.
Right.
Gonna take care of it.
Exactly. Cool. Thanks. And one more time, real quick, Facebook page, facebook.com/Brimstone Coven,
Yep.
something like
Yeah.
Go check it out. Be on the lookout for the new record early next year, Black Magic.
Yes.
Yes.
And catch these fine gentlemen when they come to a city near you.
Yep. Hopefully, we'll be doing some pretty heavy support when it comes out. So.
Brimstonecoven.com. Hopefully, we will have up and running
Yeah.
by the
we
new
need to-
year.
Yeah, we need to redo the documents.
We kind of got a little sloppy with it.
Yeah, it's under construction.
Ours is mine is too. We're merging and we're making a new thing, and then the fucking guy that services it is a dickhead, so I had to fucking threaten his fucking life and shit like that. It's the
Stuff gets behind. I mean, we handle everything ourselves, so we get busy.
There's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, absolutely. All the shit you guys got going on. Fuck yeah, there's a lot
It
to keep
never
on.
ends. So
I would be if I didn't mention, man, we really appreciate you, Jeff. It's people like you.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a safe haven out here on the road and a place to stay, and you feed us, man, and show us hospitality, and you promote our band, and it really just makes it a great experience. So you and people like you,
Make the world go around.
I'll mention Joe Wilson from Milwaukee. Same way, man. It was just
Mike
great.
Smith.
Mike Smith,
Merciful.
Merciful Mike. I mean, these guys, you guys all make this so much. A better experience. And we greatly appreciate you, and don't think for a second that we don't.
Oh, I never thought that. I don't care if you appreciate me or not, dude. It's all in a day's work, dude. It's all about the music. So you can talk shit all you want, or not afraid,
brother.
You know what I'm saying, brother? But it's all good, man. Anytime. And you guys, you're friends of the fucking station now, man. So I told you that last time. Remember the whole Cleveland family, and he's like, I ain't got no family in Cleveland, motherfucker.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he was telling me, he's like, dude, he's like, you drunk motherfucker calling me, man, and shit. So anytime, gentlemen, be safe on the road. Hey, tell the fine fellas and Apostle of Solitude we said hello.
Yeah, we'll see them in a few hours.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.